Shalom, this first video is the first English video on this channel and will be on the English section playlist. So for those of you who don't speak Indonesian, you can still hear God's word on this channel through this English section playlist. In this first video, I share about a short devotion titled Dare to Stop. Our reading literature from this devotion is from Matthew 14, verse 22 until 33, the story about Jesus' walk on the sea. You can read this whole story by yourself, and this time I only retell the story in a glance, okay? So, in this passage, after Jesus fed the 5,000 men, Jesus constrained his disciples to get into a ship and go before him unto the other side. At that time, he sent the multitudes away, and after that he went up into a mountain apart to pray alone at the evening. At that evening, his disciples' ship was in the midst of a sea, tossed with waves and crosswinds. Jesus went unto them in the fourth watch of the night and walked on the sea. When Jesus walked, the disciples saw him walking on the sea. They cried out for fear and said that it is a spirit. And Jesus convinced them that it is him and asked them to not be afraid. And Peter, who was on the ship, answered him and said, Lord, if it be so, bid me come unto thee on the water. And Jesus asked Peter to come, and Peter came down out of the ship and walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the blowing wind and he began to sink, he cried because he was afraid and shouted, Lord, save me. Jesus immediately stretched forth his hand and caught Peter and said unto him, O thou of little faith, why are you hesitating? And after that they have come into the ship, and the wind ceased. Those people who were in the ship and watched Jesus save Peter worship him and believe that he is truly the Son of God. So that's the story about Jesus' walk on the sea. I had an experience when I was having a short chit-chat with some of my friends, and one of my friends told us that he was learning how to swim. And after that, my another friend responded by giving advice to him, and he said remember buddy, to stay afloat in the water, you have to move your legs like a bicycle pedals, and you have to do it in a very deep pool. In your opinion, how's my friend feeling about moving your legs like a pedals in the very deep pool? Of course, he felt fear. Yes, everyone experiences this feeling, this fear feeling. And of course, it is quite risky because he might drown. But in this story, I learned one thing. Without the courage to try, he will never ever be able to swim. And it is also the same with believing in God. Without the courage to step in obediently and live comfort, it is impossible to us to prove what he said. All need action and obedience so that our faith bears fruit. By reading the story about Jesus' walk on the sea, we can see that Peter was someone who always wanted to have new experiences. The experience of walking on water is the proof. He dared to step up to Jesus in obedience even at the risk of drowning. He even fell and almost drowned, but remember, Jesus was there to save him. And through this story, I just realized if Peter didn't dare to take a step, he would never ever have had the experience of walking on water, and he never believed Jesus is truly the Son of God. It takes courage to step up if we are to see a change. Why are we far from experiences with God? Because we don't do what he says. Why don't we do his word? Because we don't believe in him. We often feel afraid for all the bad risks if we obey the commandments, but at the same time, we also fail to enjoy God's promises because we don't take steps. That's all the devotion for today. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.